It's the first theatrical release from Metrograph Pictures and the first live action film from award-winning animator Jérémy Clapin, Meanwhile on Earth.
Yes, if you saw I Lost My Body, which was so great, which was an animated film that was nominated for the Oscar. It did not win, but it was so cool and strange and really inspired.
Yeah, a LAFTA winner.
Oh, did we give it our award?
We did, yeah.
That's very us.
Yeah, for sure.
So come hang out with us because we love telling you about films like this that maybe you might not heard about otherwise. This is going to be playing out there, so keep an eye out for it.
Elsa. Franck? Ils sont là.
Meanwhile on Earth stars Megan Northam as a woman in her early 20s named Elsa, late teens, early 20s, about 20-ish. And her older brother, Frank, was an astronaut who was lost in his mission. And she has been in a funk ever since, and understandably so. They were very, very close, which they established in a really cool way in the very beginning, a piece of dialogue that you hear early in the beginning. And she gets contacted by a voice who tells her, we can help you get your brother back, but you've got to help us. And so it's how they negotiate this deal that they want something from her and then they will bring him back. And it's how she goes about the steps of arranging that. And it's just, we talked about Christmas Eve at Miller's Point being a vibe. This is also a vibe. Yeah. And there's also just sort of a trippy mood to it. And the sensation constantly of what's real and what's not. Because I think in the very beginning, you don't know, is this her grief talking? Is this her longing? Or is she truly being contacted by some otherworldly force? And is there really hope for him coming back? And you don't really know that ever, for a long time, if ever. And I find that thrilling and just like a really daring way to tell the story.
For sure.
It's so evocative of longing and grief, and it's so specific. But I think anybody who has missed somebody or lost a parent or whoever has wished, like, gosh, I wish I could bring them back. And this explores what that might feel like. It's
almost a ghost story.
It's suspenseful. It is unpredictable. It is beautifully shot, and the sound design really puts you on edge as far as what she's hearing in her head, which again, is it real? Is it not? And so I think if you like answers, if you like structure and answers, this might be a little frustrating for you, but Megan Northam is great in it. And she's got kind of like a young Uma Thurman, young Chloe Sevigny vibe to her, which is like, it feels very grounded and authentic. Like I think her performance helps ground this quite a bit as our conduit into whatever is happening here. And you believe her. She just seems like a cool chick and seems like someone who would be up for this kind of challenge.
Yeah, she was an art school student when her brother set off for space. And then in more recent years, she left art school and wound up becoming a nurse. And you see both of those qualities in her character. Like, she's constantly sketching people and kind of, she's creating this comic book that she hopes that can like capture everything that's happened while her brother was gone. And then at the same time, there is a sense that she knows how to talk to people in a way that becomes more manifest as she has to work out this deal with the voice that she may or may not be hearing in her head.
Right. And these really cool animated sequences in the middle of the film too, which sort of connect back to what, Jérémy Clapin's origins were.
Of course.
But they feel totally organic in that she is an artist, and they also help play up the otherworldly sensation that we're experiencing here. The fact that it's not totally reality. And that helps expand the story and expand the possibilities of what we are seeing, what we are hearing. You really feel her loneliness and her longing, and also her sense of hope. Like, maybe this is going to be okay. And so you long for her to make that happen. Despite the consequences.
Exactly. Yeah. Like the fact that she lives out in the country, like in a wooded area, I think really, you're right. It does emphasize the way that she's sort of cut off from other people. It's not like she's, in the middle of Paris or something. Like there's a lot of space around her, both, physically and I think, mentally, spiritually. So yeah, this is a really strong live action debut. And I think a movie that, it's, if you want everything to be tied up in a bow, you may be put off by that it doesn't give you that. But there's a lot to love here.
Okay. Well, where's it playing? It's like limited release, right?
Yeah, I believe so. And I know that Metrograph has their own streaming service called Metrograph at Home that is really well curated and does a lot of, especially like, they're like, if you're the kind of person who lives on the Criterion Channel, it's a lot of stuff that you would want, a lot of very recent films from around the world, and like, docs and shorts and definitely on the art house side of the street. But yeah, this is the first film they're putting out in theaters, and I imagine it's going to start like in the bigger markets and then kind of work its way outward. So keep an eye out for this one, because it, I think, would benefit from seeing on the big screen, even though we watched it on a link.
Yeah, for sure. Like the use of music and the sound design and all that. I think it would be, if it can surround you like that would be really cool. All right, what's your number then on Meanwhile on Earth?
I'll say like a 7.6. I think very solid, and I hope people check it out.
Yes, I will say a 7.8. And again, kind of like Christmas Eve at Miller's Point. This is not going to be for everyone.
Sure.
And it is moody and a little languid in its pacing, but
it's going
also,
somewhere.
Yeah, it's going somewhere. It's also like, it's thrilling at times. Like there is suspense and there are moments of real danger, and we're making it sound like it's just sleepy and dreamlike, and it has some moments like that. But
yeah, I was watching it at the end of the table, and every so often Dave would turn because I'd be like, yeah, like there'd be some like there's like little occasional touches of body horror or just things that are startling, So yeah, it is not all sort of wind rustling in the trees.
Yes, things happen. All right, so Meanwhile Earth, keep an eye out for it.